Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel Read with Kim, and today I am really happy because I'm going to talk about one of my favorite fantasy series ever, and I am talking about ACOTAR. 5 books. The sixth one is coming. I know it's coming, and I'm really excited to talk about this series. I read it, all of them. I did all of them. It's not like one or two. No, I read all of them. I have acknowledged. I'm going to tell you if it's worth the hype, it's not worth the hype. Like, can you read in different order? What is this about? And don't worry, because I won't spoil anything. If I have to, I'm gonna give you a spoiler alert. But I'm really excited because I feel this series is really good for beginner, like for readers who are beginner into this fantasy world. Like sometimes fantasy genre can be very epic or can be kind of like confusing, so this series is perfect. When I read it, I was really new into the fantasy genre, and this one was so perfect. The series is really popular, and start with this book, A Court of Thorns and Roses. That's the first book, and we are following Farah. And basically, this is a storytelling, like the new telling from the Beauty and the Beast. Yes, but it has new elements. It has so many fantasy elements. But it's basically, what is this book about? We met Hamlin, which could be the Beast, and Farah. And Farah is this girl that she is very rebel. Like, she has personality, and she's in charge basically to her father and to her sisters, and she goes outside to the forest and starts like hunting. But one time she found a fairy, and this fairy belongs to a kingdom. So she made a mistake and she found this, and now people from that kingdom come to her and say, you know what, you kill one of my favorites, now you have to come with me. And she was like, wait, what? Yes, you have to come with me, because you cannot just kill my favorites. So she goes to this world, and that's when she met Tamlin. And you're gonna start knowing everything about Tamlin, magic, the sisters, the kingdoms. This book is really good. Many people said that this first book is kind of slow. I really like it. I didn't feel it was slow. I think what happened was the other books were super emotional and super like intense, that makes you feel like this book was slow. But I feel this book was completely good. It also builds how the fantasy world, like the different kingdoms, you understand deeply what is happening there. But definitely the main story is amazing, and I really like knowing about Beauty and the Beast, new retelling into a fantasy. I think it's great. Jumping on the book number 2. Don't you know the color? I think the colors are so amazing. The book number 2 is really the story from Farah, Tamlin, but also here it's another guy that every single woman is in love with him, including myself, because he is just perfect. I'm talking about Rice. And he is the guy who is in love with Farah, but he is mean. He is a bad boy, but good one. You know what I mean? Like this guy who is like very defensive and very kind of like, I'm bad, but he is a really sweetheart. Somehow he appears in Farah life, and you're gonna start. I don't want to spoil it, and I won't. I promise I won't. But here is a little secret about why this character is very interesting on Farah and why it's so important. And now we seen how Farah is actually growing, like growing as a woman. I feel like in this book we really understand where she's coming from, and now why she's become to, because when she moved to Tamlin's world, she was very innocent, right? She was very innocent. She was really in love with this man because she discovered so many beautiful things about Tamlin in the book number 1. But in this book, she's like growing more and now being more brave, and she is not a girl to be kept in a castle. She is not. She wants to fight. She wants to get to know what is happening there, and she has a really important role in all this story. So you cannot keep a woman like Farah in a castle, even though you love her so much. You cannot. Now we go into the book number 3. This is my favorite from all the books in the series. This is my favorite because I feel it's so realistic. Like even though it's a fantasy, it's so realistic because in many series and in many romance books that I always complain is the same guy from the beginning to the end. Like you know what I mean? But in this one, it's not. In this one, Feyre is start knowing herself and knowing what she needed before, but what she needed now that she's very empowered. It also talks about abuse. It talks about domestic violence and how love sometimes blind, like it keeps very blind you. But here, how she starting to understand what is going on her life, on her feelings, it makes so amazing. And we have this race, or like they start having their own story. And what happened when you have to decide, do I keep the love that I felt for this one at the beginning of my journey when he kind of like rescued me and showed me this world, or should I give life to this new love, more mature, that I have for this other character? And this is amazing. And also here is more like into political, into like more power, like fairies start having like powers, a lot of magic, and also a lot of fights. Like I feel here is when all the kingdoms are starting to fight to each other, and who is gonna win, who is gonna get the more power, who is with who. It's a lot of political in this third book, and it also you are going to get so much attachment. You can be Team Tamlin, you can be Team Riles. I feel in this book, Tamlin gets a really important role, and it's not, and nothing is white and black. You know what I mean? It's so many grays in between, and we are humans and we have emotions. So in this book, it's a lot about understanding. It's a lot about fights. It's a lot about wars, and it's a lot about traitor and who is with who. You are gonna love this book. Now we have a novella. This one, because I got obsessed with this series, because let me tell you, in this one you're also gonna feel like someone really really important from the story gets killed. And I was devastated, and at the end of this book I was like and who I cannot say it, but I was so devastated. I was so hungover, so we need a little break. And that's when we have this novella. Now people tells me like, can we skip that, because I don't like novellas. I feel like it's getting very like common in writers when they get like so much success on their series that they need to like, okay, we need a break a little bit between this and that. And that's what be happening here. Yes, you can skip it. It's a little bit slow. I want to say boring, because it's really fun to know what happened. Kind of like Thanksgiving, and a little bit of break of the story. I really like it, and you know what? I've got obsessed, like I said, so I have to read it. But yes, you can definitely skip it. This is a novella, so yes. The last book as today, because she's writing the next one, A Coral Silver and Flames. So this one is more about Nesta. And Nesta is one of the sisters from Feyre, because I feel like Feyre kind of ended her relationship and her story with the third book. I felt like was kind of the climax. It was like, this is what is going to happen to her, and her love for this character that I won't spoil. But what happened with the sisters? I feel like in this war, especially in one fight, there is one sister who has this attitude, personality, but we understand why. Like, no, as I said, not everything is good and bad. She's coming from a very, very difficult childhood, and we talk about Nesta. And we also, she finds love in one of the characters. So this one is basically like Nesta's story and the sister's story, and what happened to her, and the love, and why she's becoming what she is. And she was kind of the shadow from Feyre. So this is Nesta, in my opinion. This is Nesta book. This one was my kind of less favorite, but I think it's important and gives life to other characters, not just Feyre, Tamlin, and Race. Like I feel Lestat plays a very important role, and knowing her and get to know where she's coming from. And at some point, let me tell you, at some point, Nesta was way more my favorite than Feyre. Feyre is not really my favorite, even though many people love Feyre. For me, Feyre was like, okay, yeah, but Nesta was like way more important for me, like the way she was and what she is, but she's not dead. So this is Nesta. Definitely, if I can rate the full series, is definitely 5 stars. Like you are gonna enjoy it so much. If I have to rate every single of the books, I would say the first one is definitely 5 stars. It's perfect. I love it. The second one is, let's see, 4 stars, just because here you get to know too much about Feyre and the other character, but it's definitely so emotional. My favorite book is the number 3, definitely 5 stars. The novella, let's put it 3. And the last one, I will say 3.5, because it was like, it was very erotic, but it was like for me unnecessary. I feel like she was like, okay, I know what to write, so I'm gonna just write so much sex in this, like, I don't know if I said it, but it's spicy in this book. I really recommend this series if you are looking for start your journey in fantasy series, because you are gonna love it. It's very trendy, and read it because the 6th one is coming really soon. And yeah, I think Sarah has a really particular way to write. I feel like she has so much emotions, because Brandon Sanderson is very good, but he goes to the point. And I think Sarah is like very emotional and talk about love and passion and forgiveness and magic and kingdoms. So read it and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you so much. And I hope you give it a chance to ACOTAR and let me know below if you read it. What is your favorite? What you think about it? 5 books, 6 is coming, and yeah, I'm gonna see you next time with a new bookish adventures.